Did we all finish?
Yeah.
Of
Yes.
course. Oh wait, did Rico ever join? Like, read the whole thing? No?
Rico, I think he felt like uncomfortable reading some of like the, too fresh
Yeah.
versions of the story, so he just stopped, which was kind of funny because he was actually completing the beginning parts of it, but he ended up just like not reading the rest.
It's like
I don't
this is
blame
too
him.
much for me.
Yeah. That's funny.
Thank God he didn't read towards the end, because can we talk about the finger?
Yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah.
The what thing?
The finger.
That happened twice though, right? There was another part where it was brought up.
I
Why?
thought it was because he
She fingered his butt.
yeah, she fingered his butt,
Oh.
and then he like ate her ass or something.
Well, that's where I.
Yeah, that was later. That was in the hotel.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a very interesting ending. I thought like it was more surprising than I thought, but then there were some parts where I was getting creeped out by just like his intenseness and clinginess.
He's a little possessive. Like, you're mine. Tell me you're mine.
Oh,
Yeah. I'm just like, no. Like, it was a little much for me.
I thought that I was kind of telling Julie I didn't like this book. So I am definitely biased in my comments. So just full disclosure, I didn't really like it.
Mhm.
But I felt like the entire like conflict at the end was like, it was really weird because it felt like they were resolving it like in their head. Like he was resolving it like in his head, not like based on anything. And I was just like, yeah, you're saying all the right things. Like, you're right. Like, what you were being way too, like, demanding of her, wanting an answer right away, like when it was like a lot to ask of somebody. But like, I thought it was just like, I don't know, like, I don't think that worked at all. And then it was all just like, okay. And I felt this book lacked conflict, and I was really into it and like the beginning, and I liked the setup of like this, girl who doesn't think much of herself, even though like she seems like she has it all, and this guy who like went through this really difficult, like this span of not being able to move on. I thought that was really interesting, but then I felt like they did not explore those things at all, and it was just like very fluffy, and there wasn't any good conflict, and I felt like they didn't really I just felt like they didn't have a lot of chemistry, even though there were so many sex scenes. I just did not feel strongly towards these characters, like probably more Piper than Brendan. Like, I liked her a little bit more, but I felt that I went into it like kind of invested, and I got like, and then I just like didn't care by the end of the book. And that's just how I felt. I'm sure you guys maybe felt better about it, but this is like the only book I haven't liked so far.
I agree with you. It was very different. It was, and it was very like Hallmark-y. Like there's conflict, but only for there to have some type of entertainment.
Yeah. They were so predictable.
Yeah. Yeah. And then I thought like she would become a little less materialistic being with him, but it turns out he likes like buying her stuff. So I thought that was interesting.
It was a weird dynamic. I felt like they didn't actually have anything in common, and except for their attraction towards each other.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's not very interesting to read about. Maybe it would be interesting to watch, but I didn't. I don't know. I would have liked a little bit more like a conversation, or I don't know, something more than just magnetism of having all this crazy sex.
Yeah, which I think goes back to that whole fantasy, and it's not going to be real life. And I wasn't at first I was like, oh my gosh, look at this. But there wasn't a thing where I was like, oh, I wish I had this. There was like tiny little moments where he said something super nice. I was like, aw. But honestly, I feel the same, because I think I'm not a big fan of Hallmark movies, because they're very
I love Hallmark.
Really?
I
No,
don't think I've ever seen a Hallmark.
they're just cringy and not like your true like rom-coms where you're like, this can maybe possibly happen to me, even though maybe it won't. But it's just a little bit more realistic than Hallmark. Hallmark is just, I think the acting sucks, and it's just for me, it's just cringy. And I felt like towards
It's
the
on
end,
purpose.
I know,
It's
but
true.
like, this is very, very Hallmark.
Mhm.
I don't know if you guys read at the end, she did like the acknowledgments or
Yes.
no. And she's
And
like,
she
I
said,
wrote this because like it helped me during the pandemic. And I was like,
Wait, what was it? Sorry, I didn't catch that.
she said that she wrote it during the pandemic and like it helped her out or whatever. But I'm like, you, clearly,
For what? Fantasize?
I don't know. But
Daydream of buttholes?
She
Her
also
make
said-
millions.
I was I don't know.
She also said something about like writing romances with well-developed characters, and I feel like I disagreed with that statement because like I agree with Paola because I mean I think at the beginning it was a good setup, but then as time went on, I'm like they're kind of very flat characters to me, and I was interested to see like what happened at the end, but I feel like I was needing like more angst or more resolution of the feelings, more conversation, and I just feel like the things that they were dealing with were very like surface level things. And so then when I read that, like, oh, I want to write romances with like lots of character development, I'll have to find it. I was like, no, like I don't think this book really is like what you're saying it is. I mean, it's fluffy, it was entertaining, but I think I also was more on the end of and not being like my preferred style of books because I really like the book you recommended to me, Judith and Me Before You, because that one had like so much angst and like way more feelings, and I'm like this one didn't really make me feel as much compared to other romance novels that I've read.
Yeah, and it's just I don't know.
Character driven romance, that's what she aspires to, writing hot and unforgettable character driven romance. And I feel like I mean the sexual scenes were there, but the character like driven, I just feel like they weren't very well developed.
Yeah. Like there were scenes I liked, like the fact that she was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm gonna just leave," because everything was crashing down on her, and I was like, "God, that's so sad." And I feel bad.
Mhm.
I was already her self-esteem is so low, and it was just one thing after another that was horrible. And then he was over here like finding that little picture. I was like, "Oh, like, you know," I thought that was cute, but it was very tiny moments where I was like, "Oh, this is good," and then it just wasn't.
Yeah.
Kind of.
I agree with you guys. I prefer more angst in my romances than porn.
Yeah.
'Cause I didn't get anything from that. It was just like too much.
Did you guys read 50 Shades of Grey?
Yeah.
No.
Love it.
No. Only Crystal? Did you read it, Julie? Oh, I don't know if she's there. But
No, I haven't.
Oh,
Not
okay.
yet.
well, damn, that sucks because it's just us two.
It
I
was
liked
good.
it because everyone's like, it's freaking porn and blah blah. Yes, but
But
it
it had so much drama. It had
wasn't
it,
like
tore
this.
at your heart. Like what's
was
gonna
this
happen?
scripted-
You thought they were over, and then it was
Mhm.
they're not. And this one was just like you knew they were gonna.
Yeah. It
Yeah.
was gonna be a given. It was gonna be a happy story. But with 50 Shades of Grey, everyone's like, porn this, porn that. And I'm like, yes, obviously it's descriptive and it's talking about things that happen behind closed doors. You're just reading about it. There was like actual deep stuff going on with the characters, and it was intense. And I was like, oh my god, I really liked it.
Mhm.
But no, this is not 50 Shades like at all.
Well, didn't that start off as a fan fiction? And when I was reading
Twilight.
this book, I was like, I've read better fan fiction than this book.
I have too.
Yeah.
Yep.
You can go online and there's better ones. I remember
Yeah.
reading one, and I'm so sad that I can't find it anymore. They had like, I don't know if you guys read them online, where they have a celebrity represent this character. So you can imagine these people, but like that never happened. It never got published, nothing, you know? So
Mhm.
now I just have this in my head, like if I'm going crazy and it's not real, but it is.
Mhm.
I think the reason that the sex scenes didn't work for me is I don't mind sex scenes like in romance novels, like, but I have to feel it. Like, I have to feel the connection between the characters, and these sex scenes to me just seemed like porn, in that like there wasn't any like connection. It was just like, I'm giving it to her, I'm giving it to him, but like there wasn't like any, I don't know, like it just felt very like
Forced, maybe.
it
I felt like a man wrote it,
yeah, right.
not a woman.
Wait, like a what?
Like a
I
man
felt
wrote
like
it.
the perspective of a man writing a romance.
Yeah, it was very
woman.
like male gaze. And also, did you guys, I don't mean to like talk too much about sex scenes, but like, did you notice that she never initiated except for at the beginning? It was always him giving it to her. And that also I don't understand, because it's like, I don't know, maybe that's just, I would want to read about people that are both giving, I don't know, but it just seemed like it was all about like him giving it to her, and I was just like, okay, like I've seen this like 4 different sex scenes like this.
What? But it has such a high rating. So why do you guys think it has a high rating? Like, it has a 4.2 on Goodreads.
I think it's
The sex.
the sex that people are like, oh my god, you know, during the pandemic, they're like, oh my goodness, I need something good to read.
And I gave it 4 stars because, well, one, I enjoy Hallmark movies, and I felt because it to me it was very predictable, but I still enjoyed reading it. Like, I still thought it was funny. It made me laugh. Like, you know,
It was very lighthearted. It was funny.
Yeah,
It definitely had funny parts.
and
Yeah,
I could
that's
see
how
where
I
people like
felt.
would rate it higher. Like, oh, like, you know, be someone who doesn't get much action. Thought was very enjoyable. I don't know.
Yeah, I think like in between those scenes, there just wasn't a lot of romance. It's like they weren't going on many dates. Or it was like he built this thing of
I thought the
wood for
one date they
her
had was cute.
The one what?
in Seattle. Or which one?
Which one, Crystal?
Oh, the one where he bought her the champagne. Like,
The
that was
first
sweet.
one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was cute.
It was
Like,
funny when she finds out that he's actually like pretty loaded. I was laughing because she's like, oh.
I
Change
think
your
He's
shirt.
expensive.
That made me laugh. What did you think about the scene where the father-in-law or the old father-in-law was kind of like talking smack to Piper in the bar? I thought that was so awkward and inappropriate. It made me like mad that he's like a man coming in to try to tell her what to do, and it's technically like their family property, you know. So, and I didn't think that when he talked to Brendan about it at the end, I didn't think that was like a good resolution. I felt like Brendan should have said something a little harsher to him rather than, you know, just. But I think he was too busy trying to get out. But I feel like that would have warranted a stronger reaction.
Especially
I
'cause
totally
he's kinda,
agree
like,
with you.
especially because he's very like machista. Like, you'd think that he kind of put his foot down and be like, no, don't tell her.
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy
Toxic.
I felt like he was a very negative force in Brendan's life, and I wish, and again, it's another thing where like there were crumbs of like interesting things in there, but they didn't really go into that. They kept it very light. And like with Piper and like her stepdad and like her like they really could have like gone into that, but they didn't. It was just like I that's why I think I was so dissatisfied with it, because I was hoping for more than it was. But if somebody was going into this, I don't know, just wanting something really light and cute, like I guess they would be satisfied with it. But I was maybe just like what I look for in a romance novel is different than what this was going for, I guess.
That part was interesting to me too, because I feel at the beginning I understood the stepfather kind of wanting to teach Piper a lesson, and I feel at the beginning the book didn't imply that he was kind of flaky like that. That only came up later. So I felt like it was the author trying to make us feel worse for Piper. And I agree he shouldn't have flaked on her, but I felt like that wasn't really mentioned until the end when it happened. So I felt like it was kind of grasping at straws a little bit.
I kind of got the impression he was just trying to get rid of her too. That he sent her like, you have to go away for a couple months. Like, I feel like he was just tired of dealing with the shit.
I also found it strange that the mom wasn't like a strong presence in the novel because the stepdad kept saying like, "Oh, your mom says hi," but I'm like, that's kind of weird to me too. Like, I felt like maybe he was also kind of controlling of the mom in a way, even though he would say, "Oh, your mom doesn't want to come around." I'm just like, like that seems sketch. Like usually moms want to see what their daughters are up to, especially since both of them were over there. I don't know.
And the whole thing that the mom said about like, don't get involved with a fisherman because he'll always choose the sea. Like, couldn't that have been like a really interesting conversation like Piper having with her mom about like now she's having this dilemma, and like, I mean, that could have been really poignant or interesting. But they like, does the mom even, I think they have like one conversation when she first gets there, right? And then like, I don't even think the mom is there at all.
And
I didn't.
it's kind of
go ahead, Judith.
What?
Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, I was just gonna say that it's kind of sad because that was her life for a moment, and it's kind of goes like repeating history. Yet again, we don't hear anything about her. So yeah, I also didn't like that.
Darlene's here. I really enjoyed the sister dynamic, though. I felt like they were sassy enough, like they were very open. That was very nice to read.
I think the next book with the sister would be better.
I would like that one better.
I think so too. I read the first chapter preview, and I'm like, I feel like I'm vibing more with this one.
She's just more down to earth.
She's more tomboy-y too, which I think you can relate to.
Also, what did you guys think about when he was talking about his late wife? How it was just like an obligation, pretty much, that marriage.
That was weird too.
Like it was, I felt like it was part of that romance. In romance novels, you want the main character, the female, to be like the only love of the male lead or whatever other gender, whatever type of. And when that's not always realistic, people can have multiple loves in their life. It doesn't have to be like she's the only one that you've ever loved.
I felt it was like the opposite of other books I've read where sometimes the people are widowed and it's like, oh, they did have this great love and they're trying to see if they can have something like where the feelings are as strong, but it's different because it's a different person.
I thought that was strange and I didn't really like it. Because then it makes me feel bad for this lady. I don't know.
And it's almost too easy of a pop out to just be like, oh, well, I didn't really actually feel anything for my previous wife and I'm finally in love. It's like, I don't know. I feel like that's very simplistic, but I don't know.
Especially if you didn't have sex for 7 years because you were committed.
I was looking for
that's another thing that's kind of strange.
But somehow they're feelings are on my phone.
Girl, you want to be muted? She's talking to her boyfriend, clearly. I don't know. Oh, God.
And then she stays quiet.
I know. She's not listening.
Just like...
What else happened of note?
I'm not going to lie, I liked how dramatic it got at the end. And they're like, oh, my gosh, no. And she leaves, and he's like, where is she? And he can't find her, and he feels like he's gonna throw up. And I was like, oh my God. Obviously, I know he's gonna go find her, and they're gonna see each other, and it's gonna end happy. But I just love that, like,
I was happy.
Go ahead.
I was happy she left, though. I feel like it helped teach him a lesson, like, hey, she's not just gonna be there waiting. I did like that part, and how the sister was pushing her to go. I felt like that was good in a way. Even though, and it helped because she realized that's where she didn't want to be too. So it was like confirmation that I guess they should have ended up together, which they did.
I wasn't a big fan of everyone telling him, kind of saying like, oh, look at how great she is. She helped me. Oh, she helped me. Oh, by the way, she was crying for you.
That's too much chisme, especially the older ladies. Like, oh, you have to toughen up. That was super mean girl status.
I was just like, shut up. Turn the page. Ignore. Turn the page.
And then how they got there so late to the bar, to the barbecue, to the bar. That was
that
wild,
was another like womp womp, where it's like it wasn't actually any conflict. It was just they were late. It wasn't like because of, I don't know. That was just another kind of letdown, I think. There could have been a lot more angst or drama or like conflict or inner self-reflection or growth, and instead it was just like,
That's true. Like she
not
could have
like,
split it up into 2 books instead of making one fat one. It could have ended like her, like him leaving. I was like, but what happened?
Which is why I was gonna say, I think Paola said that this was a very like, if you want a light read and something happened, like something happy, this would be it. Because 50 Shades of Grey was thick, and they had how many? 3
So
books?
much.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
I've
So
seen it.
it makes sense why, like it is kind of like this, but way better. But it is thicker. So I get why she wouldn't want to go deeper into it, because then it's gonna be super long. But at the same time, it's kind of like me, just hovering, and you're like kind of getting there, but I don't know.
It's a sexy Hallmark.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that's it.
One of those grocery store
Crazy.
novels my grandma would buy.
Oh yeah, those.
Your grandma?
Yeah.
So your grandma now?
Like with the half naked Fabio on it.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like I'm not there yet to start reading those books.
No.
No.
When you're 50 years old, I'll get you like a pack.
I have actually read 3 of the Outlander books, which are kind of like older romance books, and I stopped, but like the first one is really, really good. And speaking of like sex that's written like with emotion, but like still is pretty raunchy, like that's a good example in my opinion.
A good raunchy, not a cringy raunchy. Like cringy, no.
Yeah, they use a lot of words in this book that I. Like
I was laughing. Honestly, I was laughing during these sex scenes. I was laughing.
Yeah.
Like I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?"
Very colorful. Very colorful.
Yeah.
But I'll have to read Outlander. I watched the first episode of that show.
Yeah, the first 2 seasons are really good, and then I wouldn't watch it past that. Same with like the books. I kind of lost interest, but it starts out really good. There are some weird racist things in it, though. It was written like in the early 90s, and there's like some weird outdated stuff in there for sure, but it's a good story.
So old.
Yeah.
Did you guys see how many books this author has written?
A lot. It sounds like she kind of just rushed through all of them.
I downloaded another one to see, like, to compare it to this one, because this one was a fast read, so I'm sure I can finish it over winter break. I'm just curious to see, like, if those characters are actually more well developed than these. And it was entertaining
I
in a
think we
way.
need to read the 50 Shades series.
No, I already know what happens.
Just you.
Okay, fine.
I like to reread it every couple years.
I don't think I've actually reread a book.
No? I've reread those like 3 times.
I reread often, yeah. Not as much as before, though.
I don't. I should, to see if, I have a different perspective on something, but I just have other ones I'd rather read. I'd be like, wait, I never read this.
There's so many.
Well, if you guys like fantasy and angst and romance, have you heard of what's it called? I'm going to look it up. I think it's called A Court of...
Wait, actually. I don't know why I freaked out.
A Court of what?
Roses and Thorns, or Thorns and Roses? One of those.
Oh, I think I read those. Were they like a few years ago?
They might have been. They just came. TikTok made them blow up. Like whenever you go to Barnes and Noble now, there's a whole wall of them.
I don't know if that's the one I read, but it was like I don't know. I think there were like 4 of them, and it was kind of YA. I honestly, it might not be the same one, because I honestly thought I read them, but I was like, these aren't very good. But I kept reading them. So I don't know if it's the same one.
I can find the cover.
Crystal, which one did I recommend to you that I never finished and you did?
Oh, the 3. Is it the ones with the 3?
Yeah,
It's something. Hold on, find it.
I know you have them. But wasn't that one good?
Those were really good, but those are like, strong, independent woman.
Hell yeah.
This one is very popular. This is the one. Very popular right now.
Yeah, I've seen it.
No, it's not the one I read.
Yeah, I started it. It's interesting. Well, I like fantasy. It's pretty interesting. It's kind of like Hunger Games meets more romance meets Lord of the Rings in one book.
I need to read Lord of the Rings. I read The Hobbit, but I didn't like it as much as I thought I would.
Lord of the
But-
Rings is dense.
It is. They're really
dense.
fat too.
Yeah.
Judith, it's called The Remnant Chronicles.
Mm.
So it starts with the kiss of deception.
The Kiss of Deception. That was
Oh.
Heart of Betrayal and Beauty of Darkness.
Mm-hmm.
Those were good. I've only read
really good. Back when I was a receptionist, I read them in like a week because I was just like 8 hours just reading.
that one. I need to get back to it. But what do we rate this book?
I gave it a 4. I still thought it was kind of cute.
It's a 3 for me.
I gave it a 2.5.
Oh,
I give it a 2.
I'd give it a 4. I liked the lightness, and it was very predictable, but it was like left me happy at the end. So.
I
Kind
did
of a
like
nice
how
change.
mindless. It was very mindless. Like I didn't have to worry about it like
Mhm.
other books.
Darlene said I give it a 4. It was a happy story for sure.
Darlene, did you finish it?
Today. That's what
She
she
did?
said. That's what she said. She was reading a while ago. I gave it a 3. Just because there was moments I really liked and I was like, oh my god, yes. But then, like I said, they just kind of just leave you off somewhere and then you're just left like hanging. What happened to the mom, what happened to, like, I don't know, it's just,
Her daddy issues.
yeah.
The grandma too was like a relationship that I thought could have been further developed, and she could have like shared stories about the dad, et cetera, and that would have made the story much deeper.
I would have liked to know more about the dad and why the mom
They didn't
go back
talk
to
about
the
him
town.
at all. Like,
No,
What?
other than that he was like well known in the town, but everybody's like, oh, stop! There was a guy that was worked in this area, and we got to make sure one of our own was not.
Yeah.
Like, I'm surprised more people didn't want to share like stories of her father, like with her.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
all this to say that like sequel, like I maybe would check it out just because I kind of liked the sister. So
I think I'm gonna read it.
It just
I'm curious.
was so, I liked it.
and
Especially
maybe
because he's like a
Fox is
womanizer.
better. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then we can also see how Brandon is doing with
On the side. That's what I was also thinking as I was reading.
Are they pregnant? I think they're probably. I mean, they'd already hinted at it at the end,
They were
right?
talking
They're
about kids
talking
and-
about kids.
That was like way too fast for me too. That was
Yeah,
another turn off
they've
for
been
me.
dating for like a month.
They,
Mhm.
exactly. They barely even know each other. And they're over here like, oh my god, yes,
Already living together.
girl. No.
It's like he packed her shit for her. Come on. Babe, I think that box is for you. Hey. Did you scare him?
And I like that Fox was like, no, she's a friend, but she's cute. I was like, oh gosh. Hilarious.
He was
Obviously.
in denial.
Yeah, what if she wants to stay there too with them?
I can see that happening.
I feel like that would be even more of a conflict because she's like in the movie business and you really can't, like, Piper was just like an influencer. Like,
Yeah.
you know, like you could influence from anywhere technically.
Anywhere.
You just got to change your brand a little bit, but like you can't go and like be involved in the movie business, and you'd at least have to travel a lot. So
I wonder if she's interested in the movie business because of the dad. Wasn't the dad into something like movies?
yeah,
Seems
he's
like-
a producer.
Well,
Why?
that was a stepdad, no?
Oh, that's
Yeah,
right.
stepdad.
That's what I meant. That's what I meant.
But I feel like she's more into the music. Like she could do the record shop and
Mm.
DJ and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That was a cool job I didn't know existed. Okay, well, I don't have the book yet, the new one. So
I do.
got it.
you guys have
It's in
it.
my little
I ordered it.
bowl.
I'm glad to have the print one because it's pretty and it was actually cheaper than the Kindle one for this one.
I got it from the book of the month, so I don't know if it's getting here.
Okay.
Yeah, I got it.
Crystal muted herself, and she.
I was like,
Yeah.
you got it,
You're like,
you got it for $5? Did you do the Black Friday deal?
No, I didn't, but it's okay. It was like 9, I think, so it wasn't too much.
On Book of the Month, they were selling it for $5 on Black Friday.
Oh,
There was like
nice.
advertising everywhere for it, like on Instagram. Get it here, hard copy. They were like straight like this, hard copy.
oh my god!
I cracked up. I was like, oh goodness.
How many pages does it have?
Let's see. The paper's kind of thick. It has 361.
Not bad.
Did we notice this is the same author as
Verity.
Verity?
I did right away. Yep. That's our first double author, right? Like second read from
I
the same
think
author.
so.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Judith, didn't you pitch this one before and we didn't vote it?
I think so.
Yeah. And I think it was right after Verity because it was different. I heard people say that it was different and that everyone had to read this because it's heartbreaking and you're going to sob and who knows what. And I was like, okay. But yeah, nobody picked it. And then Crystal bought it and I saw it at her house and I was like, oh my God, you have it. I need to read it. She's like, I want to read it too. So then she
Everyone was hyping it up. It's been on I've seen it everywhere.
Yeah, me too.
yeah.
Like I
One of
went
my
to
influencer friends. read
I
it.
went to 3 different bookstores and it was like right in the front on each
Ooh.
one, like today. And I'm like,
Why are you at so many bookstores?
I don't know why. I have a coworker who's also been really interested in looking for like a book. So we visited, where did we go? Well, we checked Target and didn't have very many options. And then we went to this little place called the Book Den. And then we went to, what was that? Oh, we also went to the public library. So she was looking for a couple books. So I was like, oh, we went to Chaucer's also. You probably don't even know what,
No.
but I'm just like, but yeah, so we went to a couple places because she was looking for some books. But then she just kept comparing prices to Amazon and she's like, they're all cheaper on Amazon. And I'm like,
Always.
you have to support your local shops. I'm like, it's
Mhm.
not much difference. But yeah, that was the thing today. That's why I saw it everywhere. And I was like, they have it here. They have it here.
I'm thinking since the holidays are kind of over the weekend.
This is Audible.
I have to
I
play
know, like, I
it
know
to
that's
see
Paola,
the
she's
chapters. So
Stuff. How do we feel if we make the meetings on Wednesday nights? At least for this month. Because we have Christmas on Saturday, and I know it's like the 26th is not a big deal, but you're still kind of like holiday season. And then it'd be, I don't know.
That works for
Maybe
me.
we would still finish before the end of the year, right? If we did it in 4 weeks, which we should be able to because it's like right in the middle of Like a break?
Mm-hmm.
What?
Wednesdays work for me.
Wednesdays work.
Okay, cool. Yeah, and
Yeah, that works well. I think it works better for us than Mondays.
yeah,
I kind of like Wednesdays better for the week, like during the week meetings.
me too.
Sorry.
I feel like it's a little like something to look forward to
During the
midweek instead of
Yeah.
like Sunday when we're all talking. I was like, oh God, I work tomorrow. I don't know. I mean, I have to work tomorrow too, but it's just different.
It's different.
Different little mood.
It almost feels like a Sunday.
Yeah.
It's my early day at school too on Wednesdays, and then Monday I have staff meetings. A little less time.
She'll miss the 15th and 22nd because she'll be driving. You can join, just listen to it, Debbie. There's options.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying. Okay. So if we separate it into those Wednesdays, it should be 4. You said it was 361?
Mm-hmm. Tell me about how many pages and I'll find you.
90?
90?
Uh-huh. Around.
We can read 100 pages and stop at chapter 8.
How's the font? Is it tiny? Big?
But
I can.
Kind of a big margin.
Yeah. And there.
Oh, okay.
looks easy to read.
Yeah. I mean,
Very
it already
spaced
was
out.
pretty simple.
So is that finish chapter 8? Don't read 9.
No. Don't read 8. So
Okay.
chapter stop.
Up
Read
to
7.
7. Okay.
Got it.
Yeah.
1, 2, 7. Do not read 8. 8.
That's exactly 100 pages. So that way maybe we don't read so much during Christmas. Like on Christmas week.
Okay. So next meeting, the 8th at 8 up to 8. Don't read 8.
Wait, say it again slower.
That was so
Write
dirty.
it
Oh my
down.
God, I love it. You even
So
went.
perfect. So perfect.
So, did you get it?
I didn't write it down. I'll read ahead.
It's recorded.
Okay, it's on the 8th up to chapter 8. Don't read 8.
Up to chapter 8, don't read 9.
No, don't read 8. I just say
Oh, okay.
there so you can stop there.
Up to 7, don't read 8. Thank you.
So what did you say?
I'm the one that's read ahead the most times. So
Yeah, that's why
I
feel
need a face like that.
don't read little font for Corina.
Thank you.
De nada.
But we're meeting on the 8th.
Yes. At
That's
8.
confusing.
Oh, don't read 8 meeting on the 8th.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Don't read 8, meeting on the 8th at 8.
Mhm.
I love it.
It was
Triple 8.
We should make t-shirts.
888.
Okay.
It's angel numbers right there.
8 because it's funny because also great rhymes with 8. And then if it's like girls eating, it's like I ate 8.
I ate with the great on the 8th.
Wait, what happened? Weren't you guys looking into a logo or something?
Yeah, so our friend, I don't know if you met Brissette. I think she was here. Maybe one time.
Yeah, she hasn't been in a while.
No, she moved to New York. The time change is different. But now that you mention that, I am going to go visit her in like a week. Yeah, in a week and a half. So I can tell her what's up with the logo.
Yeah.
Because she created one. She just,
Yes, but it had the Mustangs.
Yeah.
We can all go to Cal Poly.
yeah.
We need something more inclusive, I think. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'll
Something
just,
with a book.
A crab for
A
Brandon.
crab.
a what?
A crab for Brandon.
Oh God, no, let's not focus on that book.
No, what was that other guy where we're like, don't be a, what was his name from The Guardian?
Richard.
Yeah, Richard.
Richard. Don't be a Richard.
Darlene said it.
Darlene's like,
But it's super-
I know Richard. Oh my
I,
god.
I feel like when there's boys who are kind of toxic in the novels we're reading, I always think back to Richard.
Richard. 'Cause he
What was
such a
so
cute, like,
toxic
character.
about him?
Oh, he murdered
stalker.
It
people.
was like a stalker serial killer, pretty much.
He was kind of like Joe from you.
Mm.
But this was this during you? After you?
No, this was way before you.
But was you already out?
I don't think so. This was like this was like 2 years ago that we read it.
Yeah. But it was
He'd go by
like
her
the
work.
guy that's trying to talk to this girl, and he's super, like, he seems like the good guy and like the attractive one, but he's just sketch in every way.
Follows her, watches through her
He
window.
drives by her house at night, creeps on her big time.
Sneaks
and
in
then-
That's
her
totally
house
like
when she's
Joe from You.
asleep.
Yeah. It was a
Very bad. Very bad. I do remember though how Judith was having faith in him, and there was so much where
It's like he's gonna be good.
But does the book like know he's bad, or is the book like hyping him sort of?
You don't know right away, but I'm like a pessimistic person, not purpose. So I'm like, no, his
You start to pick
purposes
up
are
on,
not
like,
good.
signals. It's like red flags, you know. It's like, wait a
Mm.
minute, this was a little weird.
Mhm.
Oh, and it's like you don't really find out until like midway or something like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And just like lots of lies, creepiness.
Yeah, they didn't really mention. So the main character, I forgot her name was Julie.
Oh yeah.
I know, I was like, wait, Julie.
And she was a hairstylist, right?
Yeah. Her husband died and he left her with a Great Dane puppy named Singer. So there was a dog involved too, and it was just cute. And then it kind of just says like she is emotionally ready to make a commitment to someone again, but who? Should it be Richard Franklin, the handsome, sophisticated engineer who treats her like a queen, or Mike Harris, the down-to-earth nice guy who was her husband's best friend? And then it says choosing one
I
of
forgot
them
that part.
her more
That was the
happy
angst.
than she's had in years. Instead, Julie is soon fighting for her life in a nightmare spawned by a chilling deception and jealousy so poisonous that it has become a murderous desire. And we're like, what? Where? Yeah.
Should we reread it?
I would be down. That was a good one.
More members, you know, to
I have
discuss it
forgotten
further.
the best friend and the husband dying, and I mean it was good.
Forgot that
the
person.
letter that he leaves her about. It's like, oh, that's something about a best friend, right? So that's what the dog is.
Mhm.
Like he had left her a best friend. It's like because he
Mhm.
knew he was dying or something like that. Yeah.
It was one of our first ones, and honestly, I think out of all the ones we read, it's
Oh, Nicholas Sparks.
Yeah.
yeah. And I have so many Nicholas Sparks books. I hadn't read, like I haven't finished any of them. This was the first one, and I'm
That
like,
was a good one.
it was so
Mhm.
good.
I like the ones that are like laced with more drama and thriller from him. I read some of the sappy ones too. Those are good too, but I like that
crappy
thriller
ones?
vibe more.
The staff.
There was one that's really sappy. I think it was like The Notebook.
That's the only one I've read. I've only read The Notebook back
was-
in middle school.
Yeah, I thought The Notebook was really sappy too, but then I read one that was kind of like a follow-up to The Notebook where it was like either the son or the grandson of main characters of The Notebook, Allie and Noah. And so then it talks about like how the grandson's or the son's relationship, he's also older, like upper middle age, how his relationship with his wife is kind of falling apart. So it's like about him getting, sparking the romance and love with his wife again. But it's kind of trippy because he would often go to visit Noah in the retirement home, but at that point he can't really remember much anymore. So he's always feeding the swan because he thinks that he represents Allie. So it's just kind of sad and sappy. But with that one, like the thriller, and then Safe Haven too. And there's another one that I can't remember the name of right now.
Amy or something like that. That was kind of crazy.
Yeah, I liked those. I think it's one where it's by the ocean. Nights in Rodanthe, I think, was good too. That's the one I was reading. Judith, remember now, I was like all crying at Stafford, which is rare for me.
I'd be the one crying for the books. Or be like, oh my god.
I think Eileen has that book too.
She probably does.
I remember lending it to her after.
I
But that
think
was a
that's
good one,
also
too.
a
Message in a
movie.
Bottle.
Oh,
There's been
Message in
so
a
many
Bottle. Thank you,
movies.
Daylene. Yes, that was it. Not Nights in Rodanthe. I think that's another one by him that I've seen the movie too. But it's also by the ocean. But Safe Haven was really good and very actiony too, kind of like The Guardian.
Yeah.
And I remember reading Safe Haven because I saw the movie and I was like, oh, this one seems interesting.
Yeah, the movie was definitely different than like all the other ones.
Is that the one with like Julianne Hough or?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Josh Duhamel, I think that's probably where I watched the movie.
Yeah, that one was
I feel like almost like half of his books are movies.
And the thing about that is I have most of the books. Like I have this big section just Nicholas Sparks, but because I've seen the movies, I start imagining the movie and then I just stop and I'm like, I can't read it. That's why I have to read the book first before I see the movie, because then I just lose interest and I'm like, nah, it's the
Did you
same.
ever read A Fault in Our Stars?
Oh, girl.
Oh, that one's so much angst. Oh, that one also made me cry, I think.
That one is like, I mailed it out to a friend. I was like, you have to read this. You have to watch this. We were at the premiere. It was one of the
That one was really good.
really good.
Mm-hmm.
It's beautiful.
I think it was like one of the first books that made me cry. Because I remember laying down and I just like when I read but like part, I just dropped it on my chest and I was like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
oh my god, it's
Before
almost
you was the
9.
first
No
to
wonder I'm already falling asleep.
Good books, good books.
Yeah, we read
Maybe
so
this
much.
next one be that.
I mean, February could be Nicholas Sparks theme where we just pitch a Nicholas Sparks one because it's like, you know, romantical.
We could try. Okay, well.
Or 50 Shades, it's also romance.
God damn. I'm ready for note taking.
Don't read it on the
Your
8th.
handwriting is so like
I know that's so
nice.
cute.
Oh, thank you.
So pretty.
Like,
You
look
know
at
when
this.
it's
Look at my work notes. This is not cute. It's not good.
floppy?
What happened, Judith?
I was just gonna say that her writing, even when it's sloppy, it's good.
Oh.
It's still pretty.
I've been practicing. I'm a teacher, so my writing has to be like somewhat legible. But I hate writing on the whiteboards as a left-handed person. I always have to hold the pen like this perpendicular because if I put my hand on the board, I'll just like erase it as I write it. So it's a pickle.
That was cute. Okay. Well, until I guess Wednesday, right?
So next Wednesday, yeah, sounds good.
See you guys on the 8th.
Happy Hump Day.
Happy. We can all wear pink on Wednesdays.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we can wear pink and then
And
we
bring
can
our
drink
wine.
wine.
And bring wine and a slice of pie so we can say we ate. That's great.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, I can't. Okay, have a good night.
Good night, ladies.
Bye.
Bye.